Hello everyone, for those of you who don't know me and have probably lived in a cave most of their life, I'm Barney the Dinosaur, legendary figure and now star of the new animated show, Adventures of the Trio, and I'm here with the creator himself, Malik Pistori, to discuss his journey to mastery and social intelligence. Thank you for doing this, Em.
My pleasure, my creation.
Yeah, so let's talk about your journey for a moment, because you've been grinding for a while now. Can you give me just a brief overview of your journey to this mastery path?
Sure. So yeah, my passion is animation, but back in the day I wanted to be an inventor, so I made tons of inventions out of craft materials, which kind of led me down a path to pursuing art instead. Then with me playing with my toys and acting them out in my bedroom drew me to animation. So I ended up making my own show on YouTube, Adventures of the Trio.
What?
Started a whole YouTube channel in high school, went to college, got a BA in animation, and now I'm pursuing a master's in entertainment business.
So is there a certain person in your life that you've looked up to that's guided you in pursuing these ventures?
Well, recently I've been reading Robert Greene's book on mastery, and he talks about these different strategies of achieving mastery with examples of many different masters throughout history. One master I read about in the book recently, her name is Yukio Matsuka. She's a scientist from Japan. But growing up, she was forced into all these categories that seemed normal to girls, and her parents forced her into taking a lot of stuff she never enjoyed. She really wanted to do something with sports and math and science, and she just didn't know what. At one point it was tennis. She thought she could be a tennis player, but she still loved science, so she wanted a career that, quote, she could express all different sides of a character.
That definitely reflects you personally, because you wanted to do more for your paper toys and toys in general than just acting them out by yourself, right?
Exactly. Something I learned from Greene's book is your interest must transcend the field itself. In Misako's case, she wanted to do more for a love of science, so she went to university, then later went to MIT for grad school where she discovered robotics. Long story short, she pursued another degree in neuroscience, where she combined her love for physical activity, science, robotics, and the human mind into a new field she called neurobiotics.
Wow. So, I mean, that's why you kind of pursued a master's in entertainment business. You wanted something that would accumulate to create an art in animation and building your own brand of entertainment in a way.
Exactly. Greene describes it as a Masaoka path. Once you've mastered your first field, you look to other subject or skills that you can conquer, and you can now combine that added field of knowledge to the original one. Masaoka already mastered robotics, but she wanted to apply it to something bigger and knew she needed extra knowledge to achieve that bigger dream, so she went to, surprise, grad school.
So, if you could meet sorry, I'm having trouble pronouncing the name, but if you could meet her, anything insightful you'd want to ask her?
I guess if I could meet her, ask her how she was able to affirm her interests so boldly, even when everyone wanted her to do what they wanted for her, and what incentivized her to think bigger than just focusing on a career in robotics. Because that's what I had to experience. I've already done so much already. I don't just want a job in animating or editing. I want all of those to come together into creating content that can hopefully be enjoyable for those who view it.
So you've talked about the fact that there are 7 deadly realities that may impact a master's journey.
I've been learning about the 7 deadly realities. Like the 7 deadly sins, there's envy, conformity, rigidity, self-obsessiveness, laziness, flightiness, and passive aggression.
Are there a couple things from that set that you struggle with a lot? Without getting too personal if you don't want to?
Oy, I would say flightiness and envy have been struggles in my life. I've had an anger problem and an anxiety problem. The anger problem stemmed since I was a kid, and I dealt with a lot of emotional traumas, which have resulted in a few fights in my early childhood. And I hate to admit this, but at one point it got to a point where I almost got expelled.
Ay, ay, ay.
Nowadays, it's not so much anger now, it's more like pure angst. At my first college, I noticed a lot of artists had phenomenal praise for their art. A lot of them liked things like video games and anime, and my art wasn't the best. Basically, I compared up my talents to my friend's talents a lot, and I shouldn't have done that.
Moving forward, how do you think you can combat these problems and keep advancing yourself in the future?
I think just keep reminding myself why I'm doing this in the first place. You know, just to make people laugh, give a little bit of hope, and make people smile. I tell myself, stop being petty about everything. Like, you know those reality shows where typically they peg blonde women as pretty divas? I keep telling myself, stop being a basic blonde bee. And you probably know what I'm trying to say. And don't strive to be the next whoever or whatever. You know, just be the first you, because that's what people really want to see.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for talking about this, Em.
Thank you for having me.